Hi everybody, and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary, where I do the research to try to teach you a little something about what you're drinking. Today we're going to be talking about a single malt Irish whiskey called Tyrconnell. In the northwest of Ireland, there's an ancient Gaelic kingdom called Tyrconnell. Tyrconnell translates over to the O'Donnells. Now, the O'Donnells were a noble family, very powerful, who reigned in the area for until about 1701. That's when the colonization happened. So, after the colonization, they renamed the area to County Donegal. You may have heard of it. Now, the Andrew A Walt distillery, which is who makes this, was established in 1762 in County Donegal. They're one of the oldest distilleries still to date in that area. And they were reputed to be the first in the world to use a patent still, which you may know better as a column still. So, about 100 years later, in 1876, they entered a horse into the National Produce Stakes horse race, and they named it Tyrconnell. It was a chestnut mare, and it had 100 to 1 odds on it, and it overcame those odds, ended up winning the race, and to commemorate, they ended up making a new label for the whiskey, which is what you can see here. And they've been using it for about 150 years at this point. So, let's get into tasting the whiskey and nosing it. So, I've poured myself a glass. As you can see, it's a very, very light whiskey. And you may notice when sipping this that it is very light in flavor as well. So go ahead and give it a nose, see what you can detect. All right, so for me, one of the first things that hits me is lemon. Then you also get a little bit of citrus, difference there, more like on the appley side, or like kind of not quite orange peel, but there's something other than lemon that has a citrusy flavor in nose to this. And then there's honey. So right off the bat, you can tell that this is going to be a pretty light whiskey. So let's go ahead and have a sip. All right, so clearly it's summer outside. If you could see out my window, it's bright, sunny, awesome. And this is a good summer whiskey. This is kind of the equivalent of drinking a glass of white wine on a hot day, or having some sort of a, I don't know, let's say like a white Allagash white or something like that on a hot day. This is perfect for a summer hot day. The taste is super crisp. It's very light. You'll notice you end up picking up the same honey, lemon, citrusy flavor. And honestly, I could see putting an ice cube in this and just kind of relaxing, having a sip or two. So the price overall is fairly cheap. To get this, this is the, 720 mil? Anyway, so 720 mil, it's about 30 bucks. So not too bad. Certainly something that you could afford to just kind of keep around. However, despite it being good for the price, it's kind of not super, what would I say? It's not very good representation of an Irish whiskey. Typically when you think of an Irish whiskey, you think peaty, or, obviously that's certain types. This is a very, very light, very easy to drink Irish whiskey. So although it's good, if you're looking to challenge yourself on the palate, this is not the whiskey to do it with. Me personally, I do not tend to keep this in my cabinet. You may feel a little bit differently, but if you are introducing yourself to Irish whiskeys, this is a great one to start with. It is, despite how this kind of comes off, this is not a bad whiskey at all. It's just, I tend to like something a little bit more complex. So, if it were up to me, I would not recommend buying this unless you're brand new to Irish whiskeys. So, yeah, that about does it. So thank you for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, do all those things. Very important. So I want to know what you guys want to see me review. So if you have a type of whiskey that maybe you really, really love and want to recommend to me, leave it in the comments and I'll go out and buy it and I'll do a review on it. Basically, I'm just working through my cabinet here. Everything I've got, I'm just kind of doing an episode on it, finishing the bottle, moving on to the next bottle. So let me know what you want to see and I'm more than happy to do an episode on it. All right. I'll see you next time here on the Whiskey Dictionary.